What's going on, guys? Gingerbreadman77 coming at you 4K through the power of the Xbox One X. And today I'm bringing you my Sorcerer Scalebreaker build. And with this build, we're going to be manipulating the Sorcerer's full arsenal yet again with Overload, and front bar and back bar with main class abilities, -2 with Healing Ward and Undo, respectively. So basically with this build, we're going to be running very high max magic. We're sitting at... Oh, my food ran out. Can't even be prepared for a video. So with this build, we're going to be sitting at just under 48k max magic, so 47.5k max magic. Recovery sitting at 1200, and spell damage is at 2300. And these are unbuffed stats. So let's just buff up here real quick. 27k or 2700 spell damage, 45% spell crit, still at a juicy high max magic, and magical recovery will go up with time with your pots and your dark conversion. So sustain is going to be still pretty decent. It's not as how you would say perfect in the aspect of that magic 2k recovery number that everyone strives to have, but with mag sorc and dark conversion, it's very possible to sustain. So you just saw the unbuffed and buffed stats. Let's jump into the gear real quick. We are still running Pirate Skeleton, even with that Major Defile. It's, I'm sorry, even with the, Major Defile. With the increase from 10% to 30%, it's not that bad. I mean, it's noticeable, but we're not running the Twilight Heal. So I'll get into why it's not that important as far as burst heal goes. We're still running Spinners. It's going to give you your max magic, your penetration, and it's going to give you a little bit of spell damage as the 4th piece bonus. I'm running 5-1-1, if I should mention that, so 5 light, 1 medium, 1 heavy. On the big pieces, I would suggest running Tri-Enchants. I don't have it on the Pirate Skeleton mask because it's different. It's not the one that I used to run. The others, my heavy head Pirate Skeleton has the Triglyph, but it has, I don't have a medium shoulders to go with it, so that's why this one is just a basic max magic at the moment. Infuse definitely for the big pieces, and Triglyphs on the big pieces as well. Necropotence is our second set. Sorry, got a little distracted with the other screen. All arcane jewelry. And then I have 1 spell damage for the necklace and 2 recovery for the rings. And getting to the skills, on our front bar, we have Crystal Frags, Endless Fury, Twilight Tormentor. So pets took quite a big nerf in the Scalebreaker patch, and it's very noticeable as far as pet sorcs go. So I'm going to explain why we're running the Tormentor in just a second. Daedric Prey, Streak, Power Overload, Healing Ward, Hardened Ward, Pet again, Dark Conversion, Boundless Storm, and Temporal Guard. So going to the front bar. Twilight Tormentor. So the Twilight Heal was nerfed as well along with their damage. So the Twilight Matriarch was only doing about 1800 spell damage, or 1800 shock damage, unbuffed, and then when you would use like a spell power pot, it would only go up a little bit. So basically, what I did was I dropped the heal, and I put on the Twilight Tormentor. So with this, you're going to increase your base damage up front, so it goes from 1800 to 3700. And then when you activate its special ability, instead of getting heal, a burst heal, you're going to be dealing an additional, I know this says 52, but you'll be dealing an additional 53% more damage to enemies above 50% health. Now, this is going to help with your burst combo, and along with Daedric Prey, you're going to increase your pet damage by an additional 40%. So when you get this to level 4, it'll be 53% more damage, and then an additional 40% more damage. So your pets will be doing a increase of 93% damage, at least against enemies above 50% health. This is going to set up your burst, and it's going to nuke players immediately if you can pull it off. Now, it is a little hard to do with Overload. Most sorcerers are probably going to be running Meteor with the streak being unblockable now. But with the Tormentor and Daedric Prey combination, you're having that right there is a terrific dot. So you don't have to run Degeneration, you don't have to run Soul Trap. This combo right here is applying enough pressure to where if you can hit him with a Curse, activate your Tormentor, hit him with an Endless Fury, and then streak through them, while you're overloading them, it like overload light attacking as you're weaving your abilities in between. And I will show you on a test dummy how incredibly insane this is. So, Healing Ward. This also got, in my opinion, it kind of got buffed. So, we're losing that 300% up front, so the shield strength is increased up to 100% now instead of 300%. And then it's going to be a bigger base shield up front as well. So with this, you're going to have, it's a decent little hot heal over time. And while the shield persists, the target is healed for 36% of the shield's remaining strength every second. So what I do is I'll pop my Hardened Ward, and then I'll pop my Healing Ward, because the Hardened Ward will be able to take more damage. Look at that. That's still 11.6k damage shield at even with the nerf, so it's really not that bad. The only thing that sucks is the increased cost, but hit your Hardened Ward first, then pop your Healing Ward, and then while the Healing Ward is up, I hit my Dark Conversion, and the heals they're quite nice. Like, I don't even really miss the Twilight heal, because when you have this ticking every second on top of your Dark Conversion, all it takes is maybe a second or two of the Healing Ward and then 2 Dark Conversions, maybe 3, and you're sitting at a juicy health bar again. It's really not that bad. It sucks if you have multiple people on you, and even in Battlegrounds, it's really not that bad. I will upload a BG's clip probably either before this video or after, I'm not entirely sure. It depends on what I can edit first, but yeah, like I said, Healing Ward, and then while that's ticking, just pop your Dark Conversion twice, and maybe 3 times, and you'll be set. Boundless Storm, still using it for our Major Ward and Major Resolve, and it's going to be a little bit of a maneuverability while we're not streaking, since it's on the front bar. And then Temporal Guard, this is just going to synergize well with our shields, because even though shields took another nerf, Temporal Guard's still going to give you that minor protection, reducing your damage by 8%. So everything synergizes well, and like I said, this is mostly a class-balanced bar. The front bar especially, but the back bar, only Healing Ward and Temporal Guard are the only abilities that aren't class abilities. So it's kind of fun to play because it's unique in its own aspect of you're not using outside forces to play the meta of the game. So I mean, it's to each their own. I enjoy playing this way, and I think it's a lot of fun. So definitely give it a try. Jumping to the champion points real quick. If you're not doing Battlegrounds, this is just what I have set up at the moment. So hopping right into the green tree, we have 66 into Warlord. 2%, or I'm sorry, 3, I won't say percentages, I'll just say points. 3 points in a Sprinter, so when you pop the Boundless Storm, you just reduce your sprint cost by an extra 2%, not too bad. 76 into Arcanist, 27 into Mooncalf, and then 19 into Healthy. Oh, I should also mention we are not a vampire, so it's okay to put some points into Healthy. 56 into Tumbling, 23 into Shadow Ward, 19 into Blessed, 56 into Elfborn, 56 into Elemental Expert, 51 into Spell Erosion. This is going to synergize very well with your spinner set. So you're doing with your spinners an extra 4k spell penetration on top of it. And that's just 8k right off the bat, not including the extra 4.8k I think you get from light armor. And then, of course, the enemy's resistances are ignored by your Inferno Staff abilities due to the Destruction Staff. 16 into Staff Expert. This is going to buff our Overload by 10%. I only did 10% into Staff Expert this time because I wanted to put some points into Blessed just to increase our heal over time buff with Healing Ward. And this is also going to synergize well with our Dark Conversions. 72 into Master at Arms for those fat overloads, 23% direct damage attacks. Nothing into this tree. 61 into Ironclad, 38 into Resistance, buff our crit resistance because that's still important. 49 into Ellie and Hardy Defender, and then 20 into Thick Skin and 2 into Light Armor Focus just because I had some extra points to get that 120 CP Unchained. So this is going to be very useful in CP campaigns because when you break free, you can pop a Dark Conversion that's basically free with that reduced by 80%. And then 51 into Bastion. This is why our shields are still sitting pretty fat, increasing the effectiveness of your damage shields by 19%. I highly suggest still putting points into this because Healing Ward and Hardened Ward is going to be your main defense on top of Temporal Guard, giving you that 8% damage reduction. So having that 19% damage shield increase, it's pretty nice. So that's it for the champion points. I'm just going to show you guys real quick the DPS for PvP. So we went over the gear. Let's go over the food real quick. We are still using Tri-Food. You can use Crown or this Tomato Beet Casserole. They're both the exact same as far as stats go. And then I am using Spell Power Pots. Give you Major Sorcery, Major Prophecy, Major Intellect. They're all nice and suitable for a mag sorc running this kind of setup. So, thanks for checking out the build, guys. Hope you're having fun getting your salad tossed by all these Templars and Scalebreaker. It's a lot of chaos right now with this bubble, but Eclipse is it's not doing as terrible as I thought. It is hard to duel with, but I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the patch turns out. And with that, I'm out. Thanks for checking in.